Well, welcome to another episode of Radical Metal. Today we have my sister, Amy Hebb. And without further ado, we're at a brewery, AJ Farmers.
Soil to Suds.
Soil to Suds brewery in Warrenton, Virginia. Why don't we just get right into it? You just started in the last few months. Has it been a year yet?
It's been 2. Second Serve Resale incorporated in 2020.
Oh, nice.
We went online at the end of 2021. So we say last year was officially our first year.
Great.
And so we're kind of in our second year for 2020-23.
Tell me, what is the inspiration and what is Second Serve? The inspiration behind it and what it does.
Well, Second Serve, our mission is to lower the consumption of new clothing items. And we do that by promoting resale.
Yeah, we both love to go to thrift shops. We both love fashion. And a couple years later, she made it happen.
We talk about all the different ways that resale is great, one for the environment, but also what we do differently is that we give 85% of the purchase price to a nonprofit that the buyer selects.
We know that there are people out there who do buy clothes online and secondhand clothes online. And so we are very similar in that we sell secondhand clothes online. Where we differ is that it's not for profit. And the money's not going to the person selling the clothing. The money's going, we take 15% to cover our costs, but most of the money is going to benefit a nonprofit organization. It's been great. The website went live almost 2 years ago. And the first year, there was pretty good feedback. I think we were able to give away $10,000 in the first 12 months that the online store was open.
I was inspired because I was always been an online resale shopper. And a couple years ago, I saw really an explosion in online stores, resale shops, and the amount of inventory that being offered. And then you had some big places that people were investing in, for-profit places trying to make money. And I said to myself, if clothing is a commodity that everybody has, nonprofits should be able to get a cut of that.
And that also included a couple of pop-ups at Amy's house and various friends' homes.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes we take the stuff out of storage and we sell it in person. And that's always fun as well.
But that is sort of secondary, or the incentive to our main mission, which is to really promote resale. So people can have good experiences buying resale so they don't buy new clothing. We even promote not buying anything at all. We promote mending. We promote buying quality things so you don't have to purchase anymore. Really quality clothing. And 100% against fast fashion.
The fashion industry is really, it's more than doubled since I was a kid. The production of clothing is insane. There's a culture out there that things go out of style when really they don't.
Fast fashion is a business model at every price point, and it's overproduction, and it's meaning that you have new styles that come out on a regular basis, on a weekly basis sometimes, and people feel they want to get the newest thing, and it's very cheap. And if something is very cheap, you have to sell a lot of it. And so people get used to the cycle of buying and then disposing.
I think social media is making people believe that there are 5 seasons, and that you really can't wear an outfit more than once, which we have to get away from that.
The amount of clothes in circulation is,
staggering.
Yes, astronomical.
And clothing is so inexpensive now and cheap and poorly made that makes you wonder how the clothing even gets to, like, say, an H&M or another, like either Walmart. If you're only paying $5 to $10 for a garment, you know that person making that garment was not paid a fair wage. And you know that it's not going to last a long time, and then it ends up in a landfill. So we're really trying to not only get money to these nonprofits, but we're trying to raise awareness about just use things that have already been worn.
And then the other part of that is really sort of seeing clothes as something that is disposable, really not considering, you know, the people who make our clothes, what they're paid, what their working conditions are like. So to bypass that, you can buy resale. And that's what we really are promoting. That's our number one part of our mission. A lot of people see us and they see the nonprofit side, but this isn't really a way to make money for nonprofits because, frankly, it would be easier to write a check to nonprofits than to run a resale store. But we do the nonprofits, you know, a very large portion of nonprofits as an incentive to lure people or incentivize people to buy resale. Hopefully they have a good experience and then they keep buying resale. And, you know, we don't care if they buy from us or they buy someplace else.
Almost all of our clothes are in perfectly good condition. They do not need to be thrown away. You know, get another couple of years out of the clothing. Everybody is so excited to clean out their closets, which is great because our donors have been wonderful and all of our inventory has been donated. And so we have a lot of great donations, but we do need buyers to really complete the circle.
We're all volunteers. No one gets paid. And that's fine. We're very enthusiastic about our mission. We started with 3 people. I guess I founded it. I asked my friend to be a part of it.
Well, Amy and I have been friends for a long time. I want to say, I don't know, 15 years or so.
And there's really 2 boots on the ground people. And then we got Patty in Atlanta. And then we just, I asked 2 more of my high school friends, Alyssa and Kate. So now we've got 5 people on the board, including myself.
Not against any of the others, but shout out to Atlanta, where the mighty Mastodon lives. Just real quick.
Really a shout out to Atlanta, who's doing the Stitch and Thrash.
Stitch and Thrash, Patty
Puckett with the benefits going to the Invisible Food Pantry. Yeah, no, it's really great. There's a lot of really interesting things going on in Atlanta.
Is it 13 or 15 different charities?
Yeah, we have, I think it is 15 different nonprofits, and the buyer chooses. And it's a win-win-win. It's a win for the donor, it's a win for the buyer, and it's a win for the nonprofit receiving the money.
The original 5 I had an association with. You know, I was a legal services attorney, and I did family law and got restraining orders for domestic violence victims. And one of the nonprofits that worked with our clients was Sojourner House in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
And so I knew that that was a good one, a solid one. And then, you know, I went and met the executive directors of that organization and the other ones, and just, you know, we partner. What they do is on their websites and in their newsletters, they say, here are some ways to support us. Shop Second Serve gets our name out in terms of what we want to do in our mission. And then we promote them on our website 100% because we believe in what they're doing.
Oh, that's great.
So, you know, I'm more intimately involved with the ones that are in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
But, you know, can vouch for the ones outside of Rhode Island too. We have NESS, New England Science and Sailing in Connecticut.
Have you written in any of those blogs?
I wrote one about NESS, which is an organization that I really love. It stands for New England Science and Sailing. My son works there. He sailed there as a child, and now he's a sailing instructor. And my daughter, who is mentally disabled and blind, sails there through their adaptive sailing program.
Oh, wow.
And I absolutely love it. That's what my blog is about. She can't go to just any camp, summer camp, like her siblings. So it was years before I finally found a place where she could go in the summertime and have some sort of meaningful summer experience. Because when school ends, there's not a ton for her to do. And I'm just so grateful to them. So that's why that's on there.
Oh, that's great. And I apologize for not reading it yet. I feel like I've read them all, or I pay attention when I get the notification, but because I want to support you guys. in every way. I'll definitely go back and read that. And that's wonderful. And are they in Weekapaug by chance or close
No,
to
they are in
Weekapaug?
Stonington, Connecticut, which is very,
Oh,
very close. Westerly and Stonington are border each other. We're right down south near the border with Connecticut. So it doesn't take long for us to get there.
And then we have one in Washington State. So, we are growing.
you are expanding.
We started out
Wow.
with 5,
Okay.
and the list has grown and changed a little bit. So our newest partner is the Westerly Land Trust, and it's been a treat to partner with them because their environmental mission overlaps with ours. But we have the Tomorrow Fund, which is for kids with cancer and their families. That's a Rhode Island one. We have one in Georgia for Lifeline Animal Project for helping animals and their needs. We have a food bank and homeless services in the state of California. We've got one in Washington State. So we try to put them where we have where our customers are. And so we started in Rhode Island. So we want people to have a selection in terms of categories, whether it's animals or a food bank or homeless services. But we also want a geographic variety as well. So that we try to keep true to that.
And we're not picking these nonprofits based on what they can necessarily do for us, but it sure is a bonus if they can help us spread our message and not just be the recipient of the money.
You've had this nonprofit, you said, for a couple years now.
Right.
So far, what has been the most challenging thing in starting this nonprofit?
The most challenging thing is that people hear about Second Serve Resale and they say they want to donate. Everyone wants to clean out their closet. The most challenging thing is to get those people to repopulate their closet with resale.
Oh, interesting.
The most challenging thing, I think, has been to kind of get awareness about what exactly it is we do. It's very clear to us, but I can't tell you how many times people come up to us and they're just like, how does it work? And we're just trying to get buyers. We're trying to get people to be made aware that we're just like Poshmark or eBay or Mercari, but instead of the money going to who's ever selling the items are donated and the money is going to go to a nonprofit where the buyer chooses.
We want donors and buyers to be the same person. The reason that we set up the customer chooses their nonprofit is because we need incentive for people to buy resale. We don't need incentive for people to donate. Everyone wants to donate.
Yeah. Well, I talked about the most challenging thing. What's been the most positive or fun part about it?
The most fun part is just hanging out with Amy, and we usually put on records and we just chill out in her front, living room right there looking at the ocean. And we just, we love clothing. So we look at the new donations, we measure them, we weigh everything, we look it over, we photograph it as best we can. And we upload the photos and all of the measurements and a brief description and throw it on the website so that it can be available for purchase.
My favorite quote that I tell people is from Mother Teresa, who said, God hasn't called me to be successful. God has called me to be faithful. Like, it is such an uphill battle to try to lower consumption, especially in this country. Am I really making a difference? But I always remember that quote because you just do what you do and let the chips fall where they may. And I think that people who have good ideas or just passion about the thing that they're interested in or whatever it is, they want to help people and they get bogged down or they have a bad day or whatever, you just say, you're not responsible for the numbers at the end of the day. What's responsible is what you do every day. And so that is how I look at it. And it's been very, that's how I think about it. I will say I never thought in a million years that I would be doing what I'm doing now, only because I just didn't think that there would be like, I don't know, like I like thrifting. I like going to yard sales. How is there a profession in that? Or how is there a vocation? Like, and part of how this started, and you don't have to add this, whatever, but so I had a friend who was Emily Trotman in Weekapaug, and she was studying to be a life coach, and she had to do some hours, and she needed a guinea pig, and so I went. And so she asked me all these questions, and she's trying to help me like organize my life and time management and things like that. And she said, well, if you had a dream, like if you could just think of something that you could do with your time, what would it be? And I was like, well, certainly wish I could go to yard sales for a living. I wish I could just do I just dig it, it's my jam or whatever it is. I like checking out old stuff.
But that's fun because, we're doing something we like and we get to spend time with each other. And we don't do a ton of that in the summer because it's just, it's tennis time and the sun's shining and the beach is right there. But the winters are pretty long. It's nice to have something like that to do with a friend, and that you're doing a good thing.
I get a kick out of finding, I found this frog that you put a sponge in, and it just holds the sponge by the sink. And so this was at our grandmother's house in New Jersey,
I remember that
Gammy's. So I got one for my kitchen, and I was just like, I think about grabbing one. It's just I love it. I love it. It brings me such joy. So I would say, whatever it is, that if you have something like that, there is the possibility of making that into something that can be a movement, that could be, that could help the earth, that could help people. And I would encourage people to follow that in whatever way they can. I mean, it's hard for people to quit their job and go pursue this and not get paid. You just do what you can and figure it out on the scale that works for you. And then also try to reach out to other people who are doing the same kind of thing. And it's really fulfilling. Whether you do it as this is what I'm doing full time, like I'm doing, or you're this is what I do on my weekends. This is what I do when I get out of work at 6 o'clock or whatever it is.
You really do. I don't think you can be successful if you really don't care about it a lot. It's a lot of work, and the whole idea of nonprofit is you're not benefiting financially from it. You're benefiting in so many ways, but you got to put your heart into it, and you got to you have to believe in it. You have to want to do it.
I would encourage people to keep an open mind about what is where an interest can lead you, and it could take the shape of something that you haven't thought of before.
Are you saying clarity comes through engagement?
I'm saying that. I'm saying it comes through engagement. Don't give up hope. If you need encouragement out there,
call Amy.
Amy at Second Serve Resale.org, because I will encourage you. If you need someone to be your cheerleader, I will be that cheerleader, because someone was that for me. And
I definitely won't be. We're drinking beer. Cheers to you all for watching. Hopefully you learned something about nonprofits and my sister's journey through all this. Hopefully maybe it sparked an interest or maybe a passion to, hey, why don't I just look into it? If you got some way, shape, or form you want to engage the world and do some good. Please leave your comments, and Amy will get back to you. Well, Susan, anything I've missed?
No, I don't think so.
I told you it'd be easy.
Very easy.
And thanks so much for doing this.
Thanks so much for having me on.
All right. Thanks, Susan.
Nice
Take
to
care.
see you. Bye.
This is a test audio, testing. Hey, Amy, so what inspired you to go into Second Serve? Blah, 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 blah. So do you take the best things for yourself?
No.
So what I heard is maybe initially determined by geography, Rhode Island, serving the customers in your region. Legitimacy 5013C, 5013C, C3 status.
C3PO.
I should know. I have one too.
501 C3PO.
I have one too. I have a C3PO pillow. Anyway, maybe we'll get to me at some point. I don't
It's
know,
not that funny.
Why the name Second Serve?
Well, it is a thinly veiled reference to tennis, which,
I've never had a second serve in tennis, so
Yes.
I'm not sure.
well, because your
I
first serve
get on
always
the
goes
first
in.
one.
Yeah, it's always an ace.
Yeah, winner always wants the ball and gets it on the first serve.
So second serve is a thinly veiled reference to tennis, which I spend all my time when I'm not doing second serve. I try to spend it on tennis. It is my happy place. It's Susan's happy place too. She's the other, my partner in Rhode Island who makes this work, also my tennis partner. And we're all over Second Serve. If you look at our website, it's a lot of tennis stuff, but Second Serve is secondhand clothes and service. So
Sounds like a lot of intersections here of passion.
yes.
I was telling Amy earlier, I didn't really get the name since I always get an ace on the first serve. But just in case that joke got missed in the edit, there it is again.
Yeah, Jess is a great tennis player.
Think about it.
And
I've played once a year
Yeah.
when I see Amy. Okay.
yes, edit.
Edit.
Cut that out.
Cut it out. You remember that from Cut It Out? From Full House.
Nope.
Anyway.
I mentioned before that I don't have many good ideas. I'll tell you about the one other good idea I had.
Okay.
But do you remember back in like the 90s or the late 80s when people were burning flags? You can cut this out if you want. Anyway, I had this idea to make flags out of asbestos. And so they wouldn't catch on fire.
So wait.
It's not a good idea.
Or maybe you're saying
At one point, like a couple decades ago, like 4 decades ago, it was a good idea. But then I learned that it was a bad idea.
all I heard is you want to poison the unpatriotic.